Now, so level 1 water restrictions have been implemented in Gauteng with immediate effect. So a moratorium has also been placed on irrigating public facilities until March next year. Rand Water is warning of a crisis if municipalities don't restrict water usage and if municipal management does not improve. Currently, councils owe the utility more than 5 billion rand. This comes on the back of a water imbizo which was held this weekend. But for more on this, we are joined by Rand Water spokesperson Makenosi Maroo. Makenosi, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Clarity right from the onset. A level 1 water restriction. What is level 1?
Good morning, Naledi, and good morning to your viewers. Naledi, a level 1 restriction, let me start by saying it is being introduced by municipalities, not by rainwater.
Okay.
So I think that we need to clarify that because we've been getting questions over the weekend, whether it's rainwater or it's municipalities. So it means during the level 1 restriction, there are a number of things that we are not allowed to do. For example, residents are prohibited from watering their gardens between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. From the 1st of September up until the 31st of March. So we are also prohibited from washing our paved areas and driveways. We need to be using hose pipes, buckets instead of hose pipes. So there are a number of restrictions with regards to level 1.
Yeah, and it would be interesting, certainly, to go through those so that our viewers who have to obviously abide by them know what they are. But how did we get to a point where this is what we need to be doing at this point?
Right. At the beginning, you also mentioned the imbizo. The main challenge that we're having, Naledi, it's the high water consumption by the municipalities. I think even CE has been going around actually explaining that South Africa, as a country, we are consuming 237 liters per day per person, as compared to the world average of 173 liters per person per day. So that tells you that we are not managing water in terms of what we need to be doing. So there are water efficiency models that we are introducing. There are IGR forums where we are actually engaging municipalities with regards to water usage. Yeah,
but you talk about this imbizo, and I mean, we need to talk a little bit about just how much is owed to the utility by municipalities and by councils and how that's being dealt with.
Right. Yes, we did discuss this at the imbizo. Municipalities are owing rainwater over 5 billion rands. So we are still trying to cooperate that money. We are going through the IGR process. We are being assisted by the MEC for Infrastructure Development and Cooperative Governance, Mr. Jacob Mambabolo, and the Premier's office is also assisting to ensure that municipalities, they come on board so that they can pay rainwater to allow rainwater to be able to do its job, which is to purify and supply bulk water to the municipalities.
Yeah. So what happens if municipalities do not implement these water restrictions, right? And there's obviously going to be the concern around oversight, how that happens and who makes sure that people are abiding by these.
Right. You will recall it did happen last year. We did try requesting municipalities to introduce these restrictions. If it did not happen, rainwater took a matter into our hands. We decided to introduce restrictions from our side, from the bulk water service. So we would move to that stage if and when there is a need for that.
And let's talk about long-term ways to deal with water security in the province. I mean, it was just recently that we had a massive upgrade as well in the province, and people expecting that, well, that would mean that we'd have a smoother supply of water in the province.
That's correct. Rainwater did a massive maintenance project, and the system is working correctly. There are no challenges. But Naledi, you will recall that we are losing more than 30% of the water that we are supplying to the residents through the leaks. We are also having challenges in terms of vandalism. People are actually stealing water from rainwater. They are damaging our property. So these are the challenges that we are facing. Also, we are seeing illegal connections. We are seeing a settlement where they are not dedicated, so they don't get water, so they would connect illegally. So these are the problems and challenges that are affecting us as Rainwater.
Yeah, maybe just let us be a fly on the wall, perhaps, in some of the high-level discussions that are taking place, right, with Rainwater and other officials, and clarify for us what is it exactly that we understand it means that Rainwater has surpassed its daily abstraction license allocation.
That's correct. We are given a license by the Department of Water and Sanitation. That's where we buy our water. So we have a restriction that this is the amount of water that we need to abstract. As it is, we're abstracting over 5,000 megaliters a day. So it's more than what we're supposed to be abstracting in terms of the license. Yes, we've been given a leeway to be able to extend that abstraction for a number of months. But we are actually working to ensure that there is water efficiency. We don't actually move over above the allocation that we've been given.
Yeah, I mean, we need to also just get the clarity where you've got the restriction, and I've got just some of the saving tips in what we're asked to do during these restrictions. Don't leave taps running, wash your car on grass, use a watering can, and I'm going to go through them because our viewers obviously need to know these. Shorten your showering time, use a glass of water to rinse when brushing your teeth, take shallow baths, reuse water to water your garden and pot plants, and you can add to those if you will. But I'm quite keen to hear if that at all is coming on the back of, while that restriction is in place, that there's a concern that there'll be a limitation on water supply. I mean, we're running visuals a little bit earlier of what happens in high-density areas like townships where water supply becomes an issue, then people become very reliant on aid or water aid in that case. In some cases, water tankers, right? So let's clarify that. Water restrictions versus water availability up until March next year?
Right. I think we need to clarify that there is enough water in Gauteng to supply municipalities. That one we need to say we don't have a challenge with regards to water. We have enough water. The issue is how the water is being used by residents. We give them allocations. Every municipality has an allocation. This is supposed to be your allocation. You cannot go above this allocation. What we are noticing is almost all the municipalities are above the allocation. So that's where we are realizing that there will be challenges. I mean, we are going into spring and summer. We know that water usage is high during those seasons. So we really need to nip it in the bud before it goes further so that we are able to save water and we are able to supply water uninterrupted. Yeah,
what do we do about a campaign then to get the message also louder within our communities? You know, I think about when the Western Cape was facing their massive water crisis and they had a conversation around day zero that it almost, some could argue, became quite the culture in the Western Cape to save water. And if we have the same attitude towards water usage in Gauteng, in your view, and so messages around how to use water sparingly are in fact listened to. So perhaps in previous experiences, have Gauteng residents adhered to restrictions?
Some of them did, but some municipalities were struggling. Hence, we came in, we introduced restrictions from our side, from the bulk water. So when we do a restriction, it will affect a specific municipality. So we'd say between these hours and that hour, there will not be water because we are trying to manage and balance the system so that other areas don't suffer. You'll remember our system is actually, it's integrated. So we are able to open one system and close the other so that there is actually equitable share in terms of water supply. But you also asked me with regards to other water saving tips. Yeah. We are also encouraging people who have swimming pools. Fill up your pool if you have to, but ensure that you close or you cover your pool because water evaporates. So it happens, people go often and they always fill up the pools almost daily. And we're also encouraging residents to install the flow restriction on taps at home and also refraining from watering gardens during the day. I think that's the one that we mentioned earlier. And repair the leaking taps. Close your taps when you brush your teeth. Those are the basic ones that we know.
Okay. And lastly, before I let you go, where we go to remind us for a list of reminders really on what is expected of us in this time between now and March as this level 1 water restriction is in place. And also when we do have a fault, you know, where we go. Give us the resources that are available to us at this time.
All right. If residents have challenges, you know what, there has been that we fade into distinction between what rainwater is doing and what, for example, Joburg Water is doing. Joburg Water supplies water to residents. We supply water to municipalities. So we get calls from residents. I haven't had water for a couple of days. These calls need to be channeled to their municipalities. We will get queries from municipalities if they don't get water from rainwater. Yes.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for speaking to us. We really do appreciate your time. Makenosi Maroo there, who is the spokesperson for Rand Water, of course, letting us know that we are, of course, seeing municipalities implement a level 1 water restriction in place in Gauteng that is with immediate effect.